This is the plaintiff, Dr. Stephen Lipson. He says he was asked to serve as the Noble Grand for an organization which sets up toy drives at hospitals for sick kids. He was promised a fee of $150 a year as a token of thanks for his services, but hasn't received his money, so he's suing for 3 years' worth of pay, totaling $450. This is the defendant, Alan Rada. He says he's been in business since the 1920s, and they do a lot of good stuff for the community at large. As for owing the plaintiff any money, simply put, they don't. The guy doesn't have a leg to stand on. He's here to defend his good name, and it just goes to show, even a smart person like the plaintiff can do a stupid thing like filing this lawsuit. He's accused of not showing his appreciation.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Dr. Stephen Lipson, you are suing Alan Rada and Borough Park Lodge for $450 that you say they owe you in fees that they have not paid.
Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
Yes. I was asked to serve as a Noble Grand to the Borough Park Lodge back in 1976. And I accepted that position.
In 1976?
In 2006.
2006. Okay, why did the 1976 pop into your head?
I don't know why.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I took the position.
Okay, so Noble Grand means what? First of all, tell me about the organization. What is this organization?
The organization is a charitable lodge in which individuals meet twice a month. And they give out eyeglasses to people who are poor. They bring some toys to children in hospitals and similar things like that.
So it's organized for charity work?
We do some work other than charity work.
What is it?
We walk and help with the Susan B. Komen. We did a table out so that people who were walking during the breast cancer walk, we gave out some candy bars and things like that.
Did you charge them? Or
no, absolutely
well, that's
not.
charitable
No,
work too. I just mean, are you organized to do anything other than charitable work, or is it exclusively a service organization?
Service organization of charity.
And what's the Noble Grand? It's like the Grand Poobah, the Raccoon Lodge, the head.
No fancy hat. No, the Noble Grand.
No fancy hat.
No hat. The Noble Grand is the leader of the lodge. The lodge is a local entity. Borough Park Lodge is a division of the Independent Order of Odd Fellows, which is a national organization that was born in England in the 18th century.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So in 2006, you became Grand Noble.
Right.
Noble Grand.
Noble Grand.
Excuse me.
In which I presided over the meetings, and I stayed on for a total of 4 years.
Okay. And then what happened at the end of the fourth year?
And then after the 4 years, my time ran its course.
No. What happened after the 4 years? Did somebody run against you?
After the 4 years, there was another person who was took my place as Noble Grand.
Okay, stop. I have a very specific question.
Yes.
Did someone run against you?
No.
Or did you not run?
No, I just didn't run.
Okay. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate.
Okay,
yes,
so he didn't run. Somebody else took over.
Run.
And then what happened?
And then I received a check. I received a check at the end of the 4 years. Now, of course, I was expecting a check after the first year. Expecting another check.
Well, you're the guy in charge. How come you didn't say, "Hey, where's my check?" At the
well,
end of
you're saying in charge. I am not really in charge.
No, but why, you're the Noble Grand. You could say, "Hey, where's my check?" You could speak.
Well, I did. I did. And the check was told to me the check will be given at the end when your time is finished.
At the very end when your time is finished. So you expected a check for how much?
I expected a check for $150 every year that I was Noble Grand.
Okay.
And this has been the policy. This has been the past practice for the lodge since I was in the lodge for 8 or 10 years. And I understand this was even decades before, where the Noble Grand was given a check after his 1 year. And I was expecting similar retribution for my time. But my time lasted 4 years. And then after the 4 years, I was actually given a check for $150.
Okay, and you thought that it should be $150 for each year.
It should be, I should be
And
compensated.
what evidence do you have that it's supposed to be that?
Because everyone who served as Noble Grand going back
Do you have any
10 years.
testimony? Anybody you're going to call as a witness who's going to testify to that?
Well, let me
or
say.
any affidavits?
Let me say vehemently, it's in the record book of the monetary treasurer, individual treasurer. It's in the record
can I see
book
that?
of Heller. I could not get that information. I was not privy to that information.
Okay.
But every year, without reservation, I'm sure Rada will testify that all Noble Grands are given a check every year when they serve as Noble
Let me hear
Grand.
from Mr. Rada. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Brother Steve Lipson did indeed serve as Vice Grand for 1 year, because that's how you grow in our lodge. Then you move on to Noble Grand, and the highest honor in a district is the District Deputy Grand Master. That is the position that I hold.
How long have you held that?
Approximately 12 years.
Okay.
In the issue of Brother Lipson having received the check, he received the check after 3 years on September 21st, 2009, and he's not quite correct. The check that he received was only $100. I have a copy of the check with me here.
Okay. And?
The defendant runs a charity group that holds toy drives for sick kids. The plaintiff says he did work for the group and didn't get any money. Really? Let's listen.
And on that check, you'll see it duly noted, NG Gift.
Okay.
The Noble Grands historically have never received a salary. As a matter of fact, I'd like to refer to our bylaws. But
Let
before
me see. No, wait. Let me see the bylaws and tell me what has traditionally happened. Is he accurate that the Noble Grand has usually received, or always? What he says is always received $150 at the end of each year.
No, that's absolutely incorrect.
Okay.
We have with us today a Noble Grand that has served. He's our current Noble Grand, Brother Fred Roth.
How long have you been Noble Grand?
This will be my 4th term.
Okay. And have you been receiving $150 every year?
No,
Have you been receiving anything every year?
I received a $100 check after my 2nd term.
Okay. And did you receive anything after your 3rd term?
No,
Did you receive anything after your 4th term, or are you in the middle of it?
I'm in the middle of it.
Okay. All right. So I take it that, go ahead, you can sit down. Thank you. I take it that your testimony is it's a tip of sorts. It's a token, a gift that we
Correct.
give, depending on our resources at
and
the
simple.
time.
Yes,
What we've been
plain
able to
and
raise,
simple.
what we've spent, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Now, if you want to prove to me that it's actual compensation, remuneration for your services, you are going to have to say something other than everybody knows that that's the way it works, because there's just been testimony saying you're not right. So you have to contradict that somehow. You have the bylaws for me, which you say definitively contradicts his premise that it's compensation.
You're about to receive 2 copies of bylaws.
Okay.
And then on the page with the blue tab, you see the officers that are eligible for a small compensatory amount we pay to cover their expenses.
Okay, so let's stop. Financial secretary gets $600, recording secretary gets $100, corresponding secretary gets $300, treasurer gets $400. Where is the Noble Grand listed there?
He's not going to be there.
Okay.
The Vice Grand, Noble Grand, and the District Deputy Grand Master
Get what they get and they don't get upset. All
serve
right, so how is it then that you are entitled? So tell me how, I'm fascinated
Yes.
because I want to understand, Doctor, how it turns, what went so wrong between you folks that you would sue a charitable organization for $450
First of all,
that you were a member of for so long?
I'm not trying to defame a charitable organization. I'm trying only to get what's due me and my rights.
Prove your due it.
Okay.
Prove your due it.
Now, you mentioned there that you saw that other people do get some money.
No,
The
I
treasurer-
mentioned there that other people must get a sum of money. Okay, so if it's just been the custom to give people a gift, you can't sue for a tip. Okay? You can't. I mean, if you're my waiter and I decide I don't want to tip you or I can't tip you, I don't have enough money to tip you, you can't take me to court and sue me for a tip. A tip is totally discretionary. So unless you can prove to me that it's due you as opposed to it's been the custom, you can't go to court and sue about it. But what I'm fascinated about is what made you go to court and sue about it? Did something happen between you guys?
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Would you sue a charitable group that you did work for, let's say, a $450 fee?
No, I wouldn't do that unless it was disclosed to me that there was an agreement. At the end of my work, I would be getting paid for something.
And that had to be disclosed at the beginning of the job.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. What do you think?
I agree. I would not.
Is it kind of sleazy to do that?
Kind of cheesy.
I'm sorry, I should have said cheesy rather than sleazy.
You're doing a charity work. You're trying to help out.
Yeah, some people do charity works and they're professionals and they do get paid.
Right. This sounds like a scam artist.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
I disagreed with many policies which occurred during my position as noble grand of the lodge. I disagreed with many policies that Alan Rader put forth in the lodge. And I feel that, which may not be a factor in this case, and that was the reason why I wasn't compensated for each year.
Okay.
Now, it's
Can you give me an
year,
idea of what it is you disagreed with? Is there some?
Oh, I don't know if that's critical, Your Honor.
What's I just want to get a feel.
Since you asked me, I can tell you what this vote was for. Oh, getting a website for the lodge, which would supposedly increase membership. And I'm wondering if that was significant in getting a website. And I don't feel it did increase membership significantly.
So it was expenditure of money.
And it costs to maintain a website. People get paid for that.
All right, but so you felt that he was like undercutting your authority.
So, in my absence, things were passed. But the point is that every year.
Doesn't matter. Prove to me you're entitled to it as a matter of contractual obligation. That means show me the bylaws where it says that is your compensation for serving in that capacity.
Well, regrettably have to admit it's not written in that point. But
is it written somewhere else?
There's one other issue here.
Okay.
There's something called past practice. It's been past practice throughout the lodge to, without reservation, give a $150
Dr. Lipscomb, here's the law. Okay, let me tell you what the law is. I'm sure you know medicine very well. Now I'm going to educate you on what the law is. It doesn't matter how many times I've tipped my waiter. It doesn't matter how many times I've decided to give somebody a Christmas gift. If I one day decide I'm no longer giving you a Christmas gift, you cannot sue me for the Christmas gift. You either have a right to it or you don't. And from what I have seen, you have been unable to prove that you have a right to it, so they do not have a legal obligation to pay it to you. Verdict for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And so the former Chief Grand comes out here. You said something to the defendant on the way out of the courtroom. What did you say to him?
Yes, I'll be talking to you again, Alan, about this case.
You mean, did you say that to him in a legally threatening way, or
No.
what do you mean by that?
No.
What are you going to talk to him about?
Does that matter? Does it matter? I'll see him again. We'll talk about this and see what can be done and worked out.
Okay. All right. Right around the corner there. Sign your documents on the way out, please, doctor. And,
Thank you.
Okay, step on in here, Mr. Rader. Step in. You satisfied how this judgment comes?
Absolutely. The good name of Borough Park Lodge, Independent Order of Odd Fellows, has been upheld. The judge saw through this frivolous suit.
What about what he said to you on the way out there? What did he say? How did you take that?
He took that. He said that. I took it as a mild threat. But I don't put any credence to it. I think it's just sour grapes. It's a shame that it went, that we had to go through all this for him to realize it was a silly thing to do.
All right, what do you got, Harvey?
Well, the plaintiff may have told Kurt that he's going to try to work out something with the defendant, see if it can get all worked out. The fact is, the decision the judge made is completely binding and final, so he's out of luck. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.